Coming up on Confidential, the passing of a true legend. Tonight, we take a look into the life of the man who defined class, Freddie Blasse.
Freddie was very flamboyant. He loved life. I don't know of many individuals I've ever been around who loved life and lived life to the fullest as much as Freddie.
Good evening. I'm Gene Okerlund, and this is WWE Confidential. Last Monday, World Wrestling Entertainment was saddened to learn that one of its own, Freddie Blasse, had passed away at the age of 85. He was born Fred Blassman in 1918 in St. Louis, Missouri. He began his wrestling career without the blessing of his mother at the age of 17 in East St. Louis, Illinois. Freddie received $1 for his first match, 50 cents of which went to his promoter. Through the course of his colorful career, he was always the most loved or the most hated wherever he wrestled. In 1952, Freddie set out for Hollywood, California, and the wrestling world was never quite the same. His antics had stars flocking to ringside. He became a favorite of Regis Philbin, and he was admired by comedian Andy Kaufman. His flashy ring attire and playboy lifestyle earned him the nickname Hollywood Fashion Plate. In all, Freddie won 5 world titles during his illustrious career. As a manager, he guided the Iron Sheik to the World Wrestling Federation title in 1983. The sharp-tongued Blassie's favorite phrase, pencil neck geek, was even put to music. For all of Blassie's accomplishments, he was inducted into the World Wrestling Federation Hall of Fame in 1994. And in 1995, Freddie was named the Wrestler of the Century in Japan. As a wrestler, he was described as boastful and brutal. As a manager, he was crafty and flamboyant. But after several decades in the industry, the word that best defines Freddie Blasse is classy.
He loved life. I don't know of many individuals I've ever been around who loved life and lived life to the fullest as much as Freddie.
Freddie Blasse is a treasure. He's a national treasure. He's a folk hero within our business.
I know where he's been and how long he's been in the business and how much he's helped the business. I love the guy and respect what he's done.
Classy Freddie Blasse is the personification of the way you're supposed to present yourself.
I think I knew a different side of Freddie Blasse than anybody else because I was a little girl when I met Freddie, and he treated me almost like a granddaughter.
When you think of Freddie, your heart fills up with gladness.
Classy Freddie Blasse was to wrestling what Babe Ruth was to baseball. Babe Ruth put baseball on the map in the 1920s and made it fashionable. Freddie Blasse did the same thing for our business on a territory level, a national level, and a worldwide level.
He looked like a champion. He acted like a champion. He was the first real champion. He looked immaculate. Platinum blonde hair, suntanned, looked like $1 million every time that he stepped in the ring. He set the standard for what a championship wrestler should be like.
All I can say is I had a great life in wrestling. I don't consider myself a legend or anything. I just wish I didn't have to get old so I could relive those days again.
They start to slug it out here. And it looks like Blassie's doing the better job. I see a wild man here.
Freddie had, as superstar Billy Graham used to say, the guts of a burglar. Freddie would do anything.
My mother, to her, it was always foolishness. Why don't you stop that foolishness? To me, it wasn't foolishness. I wanted to be a wrestler, and I was going to be a wrestler.
There really was no bigger star in the history of Japanese wrestling than Freddie Blasse.
When Freddie went over in Japan, Freddie was revered almost as a legend over there.
His matches with the late Ricky Dozan are legendary. The television ratings were double digits and things that you would see only for the death of a national political figure.
Freddie's strengths really were the psychology that he had. He was a master of psychology. You know, and he was sort of would play his opponent and play the audience like an orchestra. He was that. He was a conductor, you know, par excellence.
Freddie probably was the greatest architect of being a villain of anybody in our business.
Freddie was the quintessential heel. He was a bad guy who loved to be hated.
Freddie Blasse controlled the crowd by fear. This guy, he had that presence about him. He just had that air about him that you mess with this guy and he's gonna mess you up. And people were fearful of Freddie Blasse because of just his persona.
When I watched Freddie Blasse wrestle, I really disliked him. I really didn't like him at all. Had that blonde hair and was a fashion plate, always strutting his stuff. I really enjoyed not liking him.
He was the classic wrestling villain. And I don't know of anybody that was ever better at it than Freddie Blasse.
He was a wrestling personality that sort of crossed over all of the other borders and boundaries into all forms of media.
He became a huge star in Hollywood.
Plus, you got to remember, Freddie Blasse was managing Muhammad Ali when he was wrestling Antonio Inoki.
We went to Japan. I think I spent 2 weeks with him. One of the nicest people I've ever met.
Freddie was a sought-after guest on talk shows. I think he's probably one of Regis Philbin's favorite characters of all time to interview and to interact with.
Regis had a quote in Freddie's book saying that the Regis show might not have ever happened without Freddie Blasse.
Regis, there's only one like him. His success today is because he brought it about. He has talent, he has charisma. He still tells people once in a while, he said, every part of him was beautiful until he met Freddie Blasse, and then he shows him where I broke his finger. I just hope he hasn't forgotten me. I'm sure he hasn't, because every time he looks at that finger, he's got to think of me.
Freddie Blasse's greatest attribute would have to be his persona. The overall magnetism that he had. Everything, I mean, he just had it. He had an aura when he walked in the ring and an aura when he walked in a room, and he had a presence. It was just this whole vibe. I don't know how to explain it.
When I first started in the WWE, Freddie Blasse was my manager in 1978.
Freddie was one of the best managers of all time for one reason. He accentuated his talent. He did not steal the spotlight from his talent.
He tried to place as much emphasis on the individual with whom he was managing as opposed to himself.
What I appreciated most about Freddie is he was a great talker. I always loved when Freddie was managing the Iron Sheik, because Iron Sheik would like speak in his native tongue, and he would look at Freddie to speak, and Freddie would be like, "That's right, Bali Bali." And they'd like walk off. It was the funniest thing.
When I think of Freddie Blasse, there's only one thing that comes to mind. That's you pencil neck geek.
You pencil neck geek.
Pencil neck geek.
You pencil neck geek.
You pencil neck geeks, blah, blah, blah.
And the rest of these pencil neck geeks.
Pencil neck geek is not only in our business, but it's become a saying in every form of lifestyle. You hear that everywhere you go. And classy Freddie Blasse is the one that coined that saying.
Freddie loved being in the limelight.
That is one of the reasons that made him so great, because he loved it. He loved the limelight. He loved to be classy Freddie Blasse.
Being in the energy belt, right in the middle of all the action, that's what made Freddie Blasse really happy.
I've had a wonderful life, something that you could not buy. You could spend all the money in the world and wouldn't have as much fun as I had. And my mother, she kept calling it foolishness. She'd say, "Why don't you stop that foolishness and get a job?" I said, "I want to be a wrestler." It was the best move I made in my life.
Even though there's a vast age difference, there was a tremendous camaraderie, that I had with Freddie Blasse, and I will miss that forever.
My dad and Freddie had a really special relationship, and I think that Freddie almost looked at my family as his family. And I just remember Freddie as the most incredible person.
It's the passing of yet, the last vestige of a bygone era in our business, and it will sadly be missed.
Up next, Ivory shows off her island paradise.
This house, it's been my hobby for the last 2 years. It took a year to build, and I basically designed everything you're gonna see today.
3 years ago, WWE diva Ivory left the big city in California for a quieter existence. She now resides on San Juan Island, which is just north of Seattle, Washington. San Juan Island is home to about 6,500 residents and has a land surface of around 175 square miles. Ivory designed almost every feature in her home, along with the help of her mother. And she was kind enough to allow our confidential cameras a tour of her island paradise.
Right now, we're at this very small airstrip right outside of Seattle Airport. It's called Boeing Field. This is where the little airplane takes all of us over to the San Juan Islands. The San Juan Islands belong to the state of Washington, but they're way out near Canada, so hardly anybody really knows about the San Juan Islands. But that's where I live, my little private paradise, and I'm gonna take you there right now. You must be tired. This house, it's been my hobby for the last 2 years. It took a year to build, and I basically designed everything you're gonna see today. This is a really special piece of artwork to me because my mom helped me on it. I had this idea that I wanted the entryway to my house to be really colorful. Actually, we were riding over on the ferry, and we designed this whole pattern of this mosaic tile rug. Then we got busy, and it was a heck of a job. There's not one boring spot in this whole house. That's the way Ivory decorates. I finally have my own big fridge with cold vodka in the freezer, my favorite. I decided that I would collect lots of colorful pots and vases for the top of the countertops, just to add some really fun color. This is the living room, and it just kind of flows right off of the kitchen. It's totally like a fancy bachelorette pad. It's not really traditional kitchen, dining room, living room. Yeah, voila. I definitely have kind of a different style than most of the islanders. My style is a little bit more like a city chic penthouse, and it certainly has my signature everywhere. This is a special mantle. I picked it up here on the island, and I like this one best because I like the face in the middle. Of course, I was telling the builders to be really careful with it, and then I'm the one that spilled it, and it took a dump, so it got a little banged up on the corners. This is our family picture. You see my oldest brother, Vince, my dad, Tony, and then Gina, and myself, and Mom with her spiked bangs. Very hip. And then this is all my nieces and nephews. There's 11 of them all together, and I don't know if you can see them there, but they were goofing around at Grandma Ray's house. Cute kids, I love them all. Oh, we gotta hit the green piano. It's the first piece of furniture I ever bought for myself. You know, you might notice in my house, there's a lot of little cats everywhere. These ones I've had probably for 10 years. Here's another cat. This one isn't light, and it's not little, but he came all the way from Africa in a backpack. Oh, look! It's another cat. This little guy's from Egypt. Keep your eyes open for more cats throughout the house. I've got some really special artwork in the house, thanks to Mom again. She's a great artist. One of the things that my mom does with her watercolor is she composes these paintings that express an experience in her life or someone else. And that's what she created for me. I love it. All right, let me show you some other interesting things. This is my hallway where I have 3 wrestling pictures up, and that's all you're gonna see. This was Ivory protesting the bikini contest at the Royal Rumble. This is a great piece of artwork because it always makes me so happy. If you take a closer look, you see everybody's represented, all of the superstars. The caricatures bring out their personality, you know, it's just amazing. And then the last piece is my action figure, and I displayed it with my favorite picture behind it. Of course, I stole one of the other action figures' belts, because they don't make the women's belt for the girl dolls. This is my bathroom. I love my bathroom. I wanted my bathroom to be white, 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 because it's the kind of the room that you first visit because you have to tinkle in the morning. And it's the deciding factor of, are you really gonna start your day or are you gonna go back to bed? This is my really gigantic shower. Isn't this great? Look, you can put like 5 people in here if you want. This was my idea to put the little paisley swirl throughout. And you can see there's 1 flower that picks up on the floor. You won't find another one on the floor, but inside the shower. Why don't we come to my favorite room, the Jungle Gym closet? Here we are. Beyond the red curtain lies the Jungle Gym closet. The object behind this closet is to use every bit of available space. I designed this little hole so that I could see what I have. You don't see what you have, you don't wear it. We got the double-decker clothes hanger. We've got my old costumes on the walls from years gone by. Belts all the way around. Up above, we have hanging hats, hair, and scarves. These are my first wrestling boots. Tina Ferrari. This is my office. It's tiny because I hardly use it. Some of my best friends. This was our Santa's Little Helper match. Cats, cats, everywhere cats. You'll find there's more cats here. Cats everywhere. There's some other artwork here that's called my kid art. I actually did this one when I was in the 1st grade. This is my bedroom. It's really comfortable. These are some of the pillows that I made. You can see actually some fabric from my old costumes. For a kid that always had to share a bedroom, this is really hot stuff for me. This is a special chair that my mom and dad actually collaborated on, even though they weren't collaborating with each other. Behind my apartment was an alley, and this chair was broken to bits. And my dad fixed it up, and then he passed it on without me knowing to my mom, who did all the painting and artwork on it. And you can see they inscribed it down here, trash into treasure. What a nice philosophy. Love, Mom. And Dad wrote, to my little pumpkin, I love you very, very much, Daddy. This is kind of like my garden, crazy, creative room. And of course, a guest bedroom. Oh my goodness! It's another cat! This is one of my favorite pieces. I'm just myself, but I have to have a 3-car garage. Yes, it started! Well, now you know I'm not spending my money on cars. What other diva has an 18-volt drill? And knows how to use it? So I finally built shelves. You know, I had to paint them white so that you wouldn't see all my crooked cuts and the screws popping out everywhere, but they are sturdy. And then I put my workbench up. A girl's garage is always gonna have a lip balm drawer. And of course, you know Ivory whips it good. My neighbors think I'm crazy. Pretty great pad, huh? You know what though? Probably the best part of living here is this really great view. It was so great to share my place with you. You know, I've worked really hard on it, and I certainly am proud of it. I hope that maybe through this little house tour, you picked up some ideas for your house. Come see me in a year, because I'll have more to show you then.
When we return, we go outside the ropes and interrogate the FBI.
Well, how often do you guys take people swimming with the fishes?
Hey, if we tell you that, we'll have to kill you.
The mafia has always been something that raises our curiosity in this country. In fact, both real and fictional mob leaders have garnered quite a fan following, be it Al Capone or Don Corleone, Jimmy Hoffa or Tony Soprano. And it seems most often Italians are connected with the mob. I got an Uncle Louie who says he works in construction. Please, this guy has never worked a day in his life, but that's another story. This week, Josh Matthews sat down with some full-blooded Italians and asked them some questions about the various Italian stereotypes in Outside the Ropes.
Welcome to Outside the Ropes. I'm Josh Matthews, joined here with the full-blooded Italians, Johnny the Bull Stamboli, Nunzio, and Chuck Palumbo. Guys, we're going to play Outside the Ropes. I'm going to ask you guys 10 questions, and you guys just answer them however you feel appropriate. You guys ready?
Yeah.
We're ready.
Yeah.
Question number 1. Which do you like better, chicken parmesan or sausage and peppers?
I'm going to have to go with sausage and peppers.
Chicken parm.
Sausage and peppers, definitely.
Where is Jimmy Hoffa buried?
Johnny the Bull's backyard.
Why is Italy shaped like a boot?
Because we kick ass.
Because I put my foot in your ass.
Okay, moving on then. Which Godfather movie was the best?
Godfather 1.
I'm going to go with 2.
I'm going to go with the first. Actually, I like Goodfellas better than
Goodfellas better. Yeah.
Who is the better actor, Robert De Niro, Al Pacino, or James Gandolfini?
Al Pacino.
Robert De Niro.
Nah, I'll go with Al Pacino, especially in Scarface. Best.
That was good. That's a tough
He cut
question.
the guy when he was changing.
What about the one in Heat where they're talking against each other at the dinner table when they're drinking a cup of coffee?
Yeah, that's why I'm going to go with Pacino.
I'll go with De Niro.
Yeah, De Niro. That's right.
But it's close.
You just were going with Pacino.
I'll tell you what, Gandolfini ain't too bad either.
Yeah, but he's not in the same class. He's not up to date, you know. He's just coming. I mean, we're talking about he ain't next to Al Pacino.
We can go back to that one if you guys want.
Don't interrupt, right?
Yeah, don't interrupt. You get a fresh one.
Sorry, my bad. What kind of offers do you make that people can't refuse?
Well, pretty much, if you're going to catch a beating by one of us, it's something you can't refuse.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
The beating's coming your way, I would say.
Yeah. Keep asking those questions.
Pretty simple.
You'll get a beating.
I gotta do my job. Can you make concrete shoes in half size?
You can make concrete shoes custom fit for any size.
Any size.
Short, tall, big, small.
I don't understand what he's talking about. He's talking about concrete shoes. What is that supposed to mean? What is concrete shoes supposed to mean? What kind of question?
Forget about it.
Personally, I think we're being accused.
Yeah, I don't really like the way this is going. Do you?
No, I don't.
Well, how often do you guys take people swimming with the fishes?
Hey, if we tell you that, we'll have to kill you.
Get personal.
What do you mean swimming with the fishes?
What does that
What
mean?
is he talking about?
Swimming with the fishes.
Well, why is Italian pizza better than Greek pizza?
What the hell's Greek pizza?
Yeah, what? I didn't even know there was Greek pizza. What is Greek?
I'm gonna have to go with Italian pizza.
Stupid questions.
Italian pizza's Italian.
That's it.
Why it's better?
The Greeks don't even make. Do Greeks make pizza?
I don't know.
That's what I was asking. I've never heard of Greek pizza.
Okay, question number 10. Are you happy The Sopranos signed on to do another season?
Oh, yeah. It's a great show. Great show. What do you think?
I'm happy.
Kind of upset ever since Pussy got whacked, so after that I wasn't much of a fan.
Wasn't as good, huh?
Nunzio, can you watch your mouth? This is a family show.
Oh, that was the guy's name.
That's the guy's name.
Big Pussy's his name.
Sorry.
Obviously, you don't watch The Sopranos, do you?
You've never heard of Big Pussy?
Are you happy they signed for next season?
I'm thrilled.
Up next, Brock gets medieval in Scotland.
This castle probably blows Vince McMahon's home away. I mean, I've seen Vince's shack, and it's not very impressive.
The WWE has embarked on a number of international tours over the past year. In fact, the Raw brand was in England tonight for the Insurrection pay-per-view. A few weeks ago, the SmackDown brand toured the UK with stops in Ireland, Scotland, and England. And when time permitted, some of the superstars got a chance to visit the great sights. WWE champion Brock Lesnar had a chance to tour Castle Fraser in Aberdeen, Scotland.
I've just arrived at Castle Fraser outside of Aberdeen, Scotland. This is my first time seeing a castle, and it's pretty amazing. Hi, I'm Brock.
I'm Nick. Lovely to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Thanks for having us. Can you give me a little tour? Is there any ghosts in here?
Reputedly, yes, about
Yeah?
one.
Really?
Now these pictures, these photos are
Yeah, they're portraits of the people who used to live here, the Fraser family.
Lady Fraser. Andrew, First Lord Fraser. That's the boss man.
Yes. The original boss man, yeah.
That's the guy that cracked the whip around here, got things done.
She died. It was possibly done by his second wife because she didn't want to keep looking at her.
So he had more than one wife?
2 wives, yeah. When
Lucky.
married. And his second wife is over there, Theodora.
She looks mean.
Yeah.
The features that I found most interesting about the castle is the many rooms. They definitely like to take care of themselves. They definitely had a room for everything that they wanted to do.
Here's my room. That's the actual dog, their dog.
Yeah, it was one of their pets, wasn't it? Laddie. Laddie. Poor thing,
Laddie.
seen better days, I think.
Does she bite? I thought my tub was small.
I was going to say, you never fit in there.
Can I sit in the chair? Will it break?
I have no idea. They are extremely old.
I better not.
This castle blows Vince McMahon's home away. I mean, I've seen Vince's shack, you know, and it's not very impressive.
Here we are. Well, we're way up here. Okay, that's enough for...
Yeah.
I can imagine living here. I'd love to live here. This is my kind of castle. I think it would be good to be a medieval soldier and a swordsman. Like, here's many of my swords. This is something that I've wanted to do for quite a long time. The castle itself and the country itself is so beautiful. I mean, I can understand why they fought so hard for their country.
When we return, the match that raised the bar in sports entertainment.
Well, the stage is set. The magnificent Muraco and Superfly Jimmy Snuka. This 15-foot-high steel cage is erected. Making their way now out of the dressing room area. Buddy Rogers leading his band, Superfly, to the ring. Listen to the crowd here at Madison Square Garden.
Makes it tighter. I don't like these.
22,000 plus on their feet to welcome the Superfly, who is now doing his own little bit of checking to make sure this cage is sturdy. He's going to slingshot him here, Pat. We're right into the side of the steel cage. What a maneuver by Muraco as the Superfly got
really hit
slingshot. Holy mackerel. He's busted open. Snuka is busted wide open from that last slingshot maneuver by the magnificent one, who now climbs half in and half out. He's on the apron.
Look at this. Ripping the face of Snuka against the steel cage.
Where he's already been broken wide open, just adding insult to injury by raking his head across those sharp pieces of fence here on the steel cage.
Muraco's got to be careful. Snuka is near the door also. But I don't think Snuka right now is thinking about the door.
Definitely not, Pat. He's trying to get everything back together again. He's been busted wide open here early in the match. It's thrown in a turnbuckle, and he brings up a knee of his own. It sends Muraco down. But Snuka is in a lot of trouble. Snuka climbing the rope on the inside. outside. Going up to him, but Muraco's on his feet and stops him. Snuka had ideas about going over the top, Pat, in as bad a shape as he is. Oh, Muraco once again bangs his head to the top of the steel cage.
What is Muraco trying to do?
He's got him up in a half fireman's carry. I don't know what he's trying to do.
It looks to me like he is actually trying to dump Snuka over, knowing that if he does that, Snuka would win the match, but he wouldn't be able to wrestle, period.
Snuka had an opportunity to go to the outside, but doesn't have it all together. No. He could just as easily be on the arena floor right now. But he's looking to punish the Magnificent One. This is a vendetta. Snuka now climbing down carefully. Didn't get down quick enough. Muraco caught him. Another big right hand. Snuka been hurt much more seriously than Muraco so far in this match. Muraco now going to where he's going to fling Superfly into the corner. Oh, and a reversal! And upside down Muraco!
Muraco almost landed it right on top of his head.
Last minute reflex brought his body weight over. Oh, as he gets slammed heavily right into the center of the steel cage, and the fans love it.
You know, there's much more to this match than just getting out of the ring. There's a lot of hate between these two men, and they really want to punish one another.
Oh! Muraco's now busted open. He's bleeding profusely as well. Both men taking their toll as the steel cage takes its toll. A vicious headbutt. Superfly with another vicious headbutt. The door's open, and Muraco's outside. He's pulled to the arena.
I can't believe it. I can't believe it.
Muraco must have called for the door to be open as Superfly came with that vicious headbutt. Muraco went upside down backwards.
Oh, no, that was an accident that Muraco was able to get out of that.
Unbelievable
Muraco's trying to make his way out to the dressing room. He is hurt, but Snuka is coming out of the cage.
Snuka on the floor now. He's got the Magnificent One. He's going to bring him back into the cage. That won't help him. I'm sure this match is over.
This match is over. There's no question about it.
Superfly's going to get some further satisfaction, though, I guarantee you. He's going up for a suplex. Yes! Big suplex. Muraco is down and out in the center of the ring. Even though the match is terminated, the Superfly says, as far as I'm concerned, it's not over. He's climbing the outside, going to the top turnbuckle for the Superfly leap. No, wait. He's climbing to the top of the steel cage. I don't believe it. Superfly perched 15 feet high. Oh my God. Plus going bananas here in Madison Square Garden as the Superfly flies. Let's go back and take another look at how he polished off Muraco after the match was over. Superfly climbed to the top turnbuckle, then decided to go to the top of the cage, and look at this. There he is, some 18 to 20 feet high, coming down on the prone body of the Magnificent Muraco. And look at this leap. Unbelievable. Superfly crushing the Magnificent Muraco.
Up next, Rey Mysterio returns to a familiar sight.
Take a look at the building, man. This has history. I was sitting up in the cabin up there when my uncle, Rey Mysterio, lost his mask, and he had to show his face off for the very first time.
It's hard enough trying to become a professional wrestler. That is, assuming you have the size, strength, and overall ability. But when you are basically just relying on pure talent, you had better be good. And Rey Mysterio certainly fits the bill. The new Cruiserweight champion has a fascinating story that is well documented in WWE's latest home video. Here's a little sampling as Rey Mysterio returns to the site of his very first match.
I like coming in and out to Tijuana now that I have a home out in San Diego. I visit my parents down here. I got my brothers. I got my mother-in-law. That's as good as it gets for me right now. Mira, chinegro, ¿qué onda? How are you? ¿Qué onda, güey? Te vi una camisa, mira. Es todo. Yo, I gotta tell you, man, this is one of my boys. When we started to train back in the day, we were just 8 years old. We were young, man. We used to play around. And here we are again, man. After so many years, you know, I decided to take a path of my own. He's still working out, training, doing local shows. But here he is, man. We still keep in touch.
Yeah. Thank you,
Es todo.
Hola, María, whatever you are.
Árale, cuídate, güey. Gracias. Que Dios te bendiga. All right. El doctor domingo. ¿Qué onda? ¿Qué onda, güey? ¿Cómo estás? Okay, now this is the man who actually gave me the opportunity to eat. Now, he didn't believe in me. No creas en mí al principio. No. Now, he didn't believe in me at the beginning. But he was the man that gave me the first opportunity to actually wrestle in this building. His name is Benjamin Mora. You know, he's been doing shows here for many years. He's a man. He's a man to talk to, man. ¿No es cierto?
Siempre creí en él, nada más que tenía 12 años. Y en 12 años tenía yo miedo que se lastimara y entonces el promotor era el que iba a tener la culpa a los 12 años que se lastimara.
Pero ahorita a los 28 me quiere dar trabajo. This is Auditorio de Tijuana. The best wrestlers from Mexico, from the United States, from Japan, have been to this place. We pack this place up every Friday. First time I ever wrestled here, 1988. Around, I was just about 15 years old. Come on in, let's take a look. How about this? This is a lot better. Now I can look at you directly in the eyes. Take a look at the building, man. This has history, some history. Walk in, see all the seating around. When this place would get jam-packed, you would see people hanging from the rafters, up from the top. You would have people sitting down on the stairways. You would have to actually squeeze through to get down if you need to come down. I remember I was sitting up in the cabin up there when my uncle, Rey Mysterio, lost his mask, and he had to show his face off for the very first time. Tears came down my eyes. It was such a touching moment. But now I am here with the mask again, representing my people, represent what Mexican lucha libre is, and what better thing to come here to the very spot where I first started my very first wrestling match. My whole career started here, and from here it took off to Mexico, to Japan, to ECW, to WCW, to WWE, and I can't get any higher than that. That's it.
That's just a taste of the brand new Rey Mysterio home video, which is available now. Before we say goodnight, I'd just like to send my condolences out to Freddie Blasse's family. Freddie, you were a very special man, and you won't ever be forgotten.